Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the territory of the Coquitlam, Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh, and welcome to this very special day, especially for those who are graduating. A prayer and we'll continue the event. Great Spirit, thank you for bringing us together today. Just guide each and every one of us in the path that we're taking once we leave today. And a very special blessing on our family who are not able to be with us today. And just a very special blessing on each and every one of the students here, all my relations, and now the Chancellor of SFU.
Thanks to Elder Margaret, a member of SFU's Aboriginal Elder Program, for her words of welcome for all of us here today. I would like to start also by acknowledging the Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Musqueam, and Coquitlam peoples on whose traditional territory we are so privileged to be gathered this beautiful sunny afternoon. I would like to invite Mr. Jason Spence, an undergraduate student in the Faculty of Science and a member of SFU's choir, and Jason will lead us all in singing O Canada. Jason.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Well done.
Please be seated. I declare the Fall 2019 Convocation assembled for the granting of degrees. Mr. President, members of the Board of Governors and Senate, faculty, honoured guests, graduands, and friends, I am Anne Giardini, the Chancellor of Simon Fraser University, and we are delighted and honoured to have you join us for Convocation this afternoon. In attendance are a number of distinguished guests in the audience and on the platform, including members of Senate, vice presidents, deans, and faculty. I would like to acknowledge Dr. Barbara Ray, Chancellor Emeritus and past honorary degree recipient, Dr. Nadine CARON, who will be conferred an honorary doctorate of science this afternoon, and our SFU alumni, legacy, parents, and families. Welcome to everyone. And I want to thank you also for your patience with the construction that you can see going on around you on campus. We have a few exciting projects underway. Behind the platform is the SFU Student Society's new Student Union building, which will be opened in 2020. It will be entirely devoted to students with lounges, study areas, meeting rooms, and recreational facilities. And throughout the main corridor on campus, east to west, is the Public Plaza Renewal Project, which will improve accessibility and create more gathering spaces as we renew some of our older infrastructure. It is an honor to have you all here to participate in or bear witness to this Simon Fraser University's most important ceremony. This is the moment, this is the time, this is the hour. We gather now as a collective of scholars and friends to celebrate achievement, recognize success, and confer well-earned honors. Graduands, this is your day, and I, along with many others, could not be prouder. Your university education provides you with a well-stocked mind, but your education does more than that. It makes us all wiser. You are today confirmed to be a contributor to the grand enterprise of building on our collective human knowledge. Your SFU mind makes you more effective as a person, as a worker, and as a citizen of and participant in the many communities you will serve, from your household to your neighborhood to your country and beyond. And learning does not stop here. Tomorrow and every day after that will provide you with opportunities to take in new facts, analyze new information, and bring to bear your own unique ideas. While information will fly at you faster than ever before, your SFU mind will help you to sort and filter what you see and hear and discern what is reliable and what may be useful. As anyone who has ever faced a midterm knows, it's one thing to have learned something, it is another thing altogether to remember it. We have to some extent all outsourced the important attribute of memory. Our little devices will remember information for us, or so we like to think. I would like to encourage you to fight back a little at our reliance on our computers and phones, and to continue on to work on building and keeping memories of your own. Portuguese playwright and actor Tiago Rodrigues wrote and produces around the world a play called By Heart. In the course of this, he teaches Shakespeare's Sonnet 30 to 10 volunteers drawn from the audience. The idea for By Heart came to Rodrigues from something said by the critic and philosopher George Steiner, who said this: "Once 10 people know a poem by heart, there is nothing the KGB, the CIA, or the Gestapo can do about it. It will survive." And so, to ensure that whatever else happens, at least Shakespeare's Sonnet 30 will live on, Rodrigues travels the world stages, teaching volunteers to commit Sonnet 30 to memory. It's a stunner of a poem, one that speaks forcefully and subtly of the immense transformative power of memory and of relationship. It is the one that begins, "When to the sessions of sweet silent thought, I summon up remembrance of things past." Why this sonnet? Rodrigues' inspiration came from the gathering of the Soviet Writers' Congress in 1937. Russia was then in the middle of the Great Purge, during which Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin sought to eliminate all dissent by executing and exiling people in their millions, including writers. The great Russian author Boris Pasternak had been invited to speak at the Congress. He was warned, however, if you speak, they will arrest you. If you don't speak, they will arrest you. After 3 days of the most careful speeches possible by others present at the Congress, speeches that said little to nothing and that inspired and offended no one, Pasternak is reported to have risen and simply said out loud 2 words, Sonnet 30. Which he himself had translated into Russian. His audience knew the sonnet too. In their hundreds, the writers rose and recited by heart, along with him, the Pasternak translation of this sonnet. The group was for a moment as one against Stalin's forces, and it is reported something remarkable happened. Pasternak was not arrested. Stalin's henchmen were confounded, and the gathered authors' need for hope, for something beautiful and enduring to cling to, was met. Rodrigues' By Heart is about the importance of memory, of ensuring that words and ideas are held fast in the safe hiding place of our brains and our beings, where no one can take them from us. Notwithstanding that, as the writer Corey Taylor has said, it is in the nature of memory that different people will remember different things, and that none of what they remember will be verifiable or true. Memories are in fact critical to who we are and who we become. We are not so much the sum of our experiences as of our memories, and we should therefore maximize the quality of our future memories, memories such as the ones that you have built up during your days here at Simon Fraser University. In some ways, this is why I don't fault the tourists that we all see at museums and galleries and historic places who photograph instead of seeing. They understand perhaps that the experience is fleeting, while the captured memory can be very long indeed. And this is why I recommend building up your powers of memory by memorizing whatever suits you best. For me, this is poetry, since memorizing poetry is delightful, relatively easy, and it impresses the heck out of people. It worked for Pasternak. Sonnet 30 said to the other writers, to Stalin's agents, to the world and to history, you can't touch us. You can't destroy Shakespeare. You can't destroy the Russian language. You can't destroy the fact that we know by heart what Pasternak has given to us. Sonnet 30 ends with a couplet that is appropriate for today. But if the while I think on thee, dear friend, all losses are restored and sorrows end. So please remember this. Stay in touch with those of us who remain here at SFU while you go out to do memorable things and build on our collective memory. We are so, so proud of you, and we are grateful, and we are changed, and we are improved by this time that we've spent together. Thank you. I now call upon the president of our university, Professor Andrew Petter.
Madam Chancellor, honored guests, members of the Board of Governors and Senate, faculty members, staff, and most especially, graduate families and friends. It's my privilege to preside at this culminating celebration of your education at Simon Fraser University. As this ceremony unfolds, our message to you is clear. As each of you receives your degree, I and the entire university community want you to know just how proud we are of you. We've seen your work, we've admired your performance. Your degrees are not merely documents of accreditation, they are living testament to the faith we have in your ability to flourish in a dynamic world. They're also a reflection of the institution you chose, one whose vision it is to be Canada's engaged university. That focus on engagement has provided you an enriched and relevant educational environment, one that has not only equipped you with disciplinary knowledge and critical thinking abilities, but has also enabled you to gain workplace experience, community insight, and global awareness. These are the aptitudes required to climb your first mountain. Now, I'm not talking here about Burnaby Mountain, another peak that you've no doubt learned to scale as part of your SFU education. I'm referring to the first mountain as described by New York Times columnist David Brooks. Brooks is author of a new book entitled The Second Mountain, The Quest for a Moral Life. Having established himself as a celebrated writer and popular media commentator, Brooks reached the pinnacle of the first mountain, which he describes as the place you go to pursue material gain, to seek public recognition, and if all goes well, to find happiness. But SFU's vision and my ambition for you is directed to much more than the individual success associated with accumulating wealth, gaining social standing, and pursuing a profitable career. My hope, and that of this university, is that your SFU education will also prepare you to scale what David Brooks calls the second mountain, the place you go to contribute to the well-being of others. In Brooks's words, the second mountain is where you are driven by the desires of your heart and soul, not by the demands of your own ego. Success on the second mountain is about collective welfare rather than individual advantage. In a variation on the theme of engagement, Brooks says that this second quest is about interdependence rather than independence. It involves attending to the needs both of individuals and of the community. And here's the wonderful thing. The second mountain is where you attain what Brooks calls joy, a state more rewarding and resilient than mere happiness. Now, I recently heard Brooks interviewed about the book and about his own personal journey. And I was immediately drawn to his vision of a second mountain because it resonates so strongly with my own experience and with what this university is all about. A belief that the true measure of our success as human beings is not how much better we make life for ourselves, but how much better we make it for others. Like Brooks, I recommend to you the rewards that come from building a better world. They far exceed those that accompany personal ambition and self-aggrandizement. Individual accomplishments can be gratifying, but the sense of efficacy and attainment that can be gained from helping others and enriching communities, delivers much greater satisfaction and fulfillment. So here, today, I hope you revel in your achievements to date. As you stand on this mountain, you have every right to bask in the happiness that you have earned and share that delight with your colleagues, friends, and family. Bravo for having made it this far up your first mountain. It's a critical foundation for what lies ahead. But when the excitement of today's festivities begins to wane, I commend to you that second climb. There's joy aplenty to be found there in a world that is sorely in need of your commitment, your energy, and your leadership. And whatever mountains confront you, you can take comfort in the knowledge that you needn't make that climb alone. The relationships you've formed here with friends and colleagues, with faculty and mentors, will serve you better than any single lesson. Today, you take your place amongst a global network of over 160,000 SFU alumni in more than 140 countries around the world, supported by an association that is there to assist and connect you. And while this phase of your education is complete, continued success in this ever-changing and challenging world will depend upon your commitment to lifelong learning. In that regard, SFU will always be here for you when you need help. So for now, this is your time. Enjoy it and use it wisely. Share it generously with those you love, and just as generously with those who don't have your advantage. Know that it is on the second mountain that you will make your greatest contributions and find your greatest joy. Congratulations to you all.
SFU's honorary degree is the highest honor conferred by the university. Honorary degrees are awarded to distinguished individuals in recognition of their scholarly, scientific, or artistic achievement, or in recognition of exceptional contribution to the public good through professional or philanthropic activity. Honorary degree recipients' achievements celebrate our university's values and serve as an inspiration and role model to our students, graduates, and communities. The honorary degree will now be conferred. To present the honorary degree candidate, Dr. NADINE CARON, I am pleased to welcome Ms. Cheryl Thompson. Cheryl Thompson is a Cree Métis graduate student, community activist, and researcher in the Faculty of Health Sciences. She holds a Canadian Institutes of Health Research Scholarship, which she is using to evaluate better practices for conducting meaningful and engaged health research in Indigenous communities. Ms. Thompson.
Madam Chancellor, I am honored to present Dr. NADINE CARON, a surgeon, professor, and internationally renowned health advocate who has made it her life's work to improve medical treatment and outcomes for Indigenous peoples. Dr. CARON, an Anishinaabe from Skagamok First Nations, is Canada's first female surgeon of First Nations descent. She is also, as it happens, a formidable basketball player. It was while shooting hoops on behalf of Simon Fraser University that she first realized her professional destiny. In 1993, near the end of her undergraduate degree in kinesiology, she had the opportunity to shadow a doctor while on the road with the SFU basketball team. She knew then that she would give back to the community by becoming a physician herself. Dr. CARON was the first female Indigenous doctor to graduate from UBC's medical school, and she did it at the top of her class. Later, during her surgical residency, she earned a Master's of Public Health at Harvard and a postgraduate fellowship at the University of California, San Francisco. Today, she co-directs the UBC Center for Excellence in Indigenous Health, where researchers aim to improve Indigenous health outcomes and guide Canadian healthcare policy. She frequently serves on federal and provincial committees to shape Canada's health agenda and is globally recognized for her efforts to address the health needs and disparities of rural, remote, northern, and Aboriginal communities. She teaches at both UBC Medical School and the Centre for American Indian Health at Johns Hopkins University, where she incorporates lessons on cultural competency and how to prevent racism in the medical profession. Among her many lofty honors, Dr. CARON most recently earned a 2017 UBC Medical Alumni Association's Wallace Wilson Award for High Ethical Standards and Outstanding Leadership, and in 2016, the Thomas Dignan Indigenous Health Award from the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons. But the recognition that she values most comes from the grassroots, the very real patients that she continues to treat in her own personal clinical practice. Madam Chancellor, in recognition of her commitment to and advancement of Indigenous health research, education, advocacy, and reform, I ask that you confer upon Dr. Nadine CARON the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
Thank you, Cheryl. All set? Dr. Nadine CARON, by virtue of the authority vested in me and in the Senate of this university, I hereby admit you to the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa. Dr. Nadine CARON will be hooded by Dr. Jonathan Driver, Vice President Academic and Provost Pro Tem, and Ms. Catherine Verkerk, Associate Registrar.
Congratulations. It is with great pleasure and SFU pride that I call upon Dr. Nadine CARON for her convocation address.
Thank you, Cheryl, President Petter, Chancellor Giordini, distinguished guests, graduates, families, and friends. I would like to acknowledge that this beautiful land upon which we gather, this home at SFU, where I first delved into post-secondary education, is the traditional unceded territory of the Coast Salish peoples. Graduates, have you ever reflected back on life, your education, and identified a moment that became so critical to where you are or who you have become? I have, and on preparation for today, I thought I would share with you a story. Ready? Okay. The spring after my grade 9 basketball season, my junior high school coach, Mr. Lee, asked me to try out for the BC provincial basketball team. Crazy. No one from my school had ever done that, tried out, let alone made it. It would require me to travel to Vancouver and try out with girls who had fancy gyms and came from championship teams. I decided to give it a go. It meant early morning workouts, evening workouts, drills at home, and the last couple of months of school just whizzed by until before I knew it, I was in the car with Mr. Lee heading to Vancouver. We pulled up to the gymnasium. I remember how I felt, nervous, nauseated, anxious, scared. The gym was huge. The concrete steps leading up to it were as wide as a house. Girls heading into the gym were wearing expensive brand name sports clothing. They looked comfortable. They were in groups of 4 or 5. They were laughing. They belonged. Oh, we were here. There was no turning back. I reached for the door handle to get out of the car, but Mr. Lee's voice, stern but calm, "Don't you dare." Pardon? I was confused. After a 5-hour trip, it was less than an hour before all the tryouts started, and I still had to go up and register, get changed, and get warmed up. "Don't you dare get out of this car if you don't think you're going to make the team." I went to protest, but then I realized there was nothing to protest. He had totally read my mind. I couldn't make this team. I was too short, I was too slow, I didn't have the experience. So I sat there, and so did he. After a couple minutes, I reached for the door again. I could feel his eyes bearing into me, and I didn't even touch the handle. I wasn't ready to get out. Then Mr. Lee pulled out a newspaper and started reading. At first, I was frustrated, first at him and then at me. Why couldn't I believe in myself? It seemed I'd put everything into the preceding months. Why couldn't my best be good enough? Those girls, they might have worked as hard as me. They might have worked as hard as me, but there is no way that they worked harder. My skills had improved. I think I can do this. I reached for the door. I pulled the handle, and I only briefly looked at Mr. Lee this time before stepping out of the car. I went to the back to get my gear, and Mr. Lee met me at the trunk and handed me my bag. "Congratulations. You're going to have an amazing experience on Team BC." Who here thinks I made the team? Who here thinks I didn't? Who here thinks Mr. Lee had something to do with the outcome? Well, I learned a lot about basketball that summer. I learned a lot about myself because I made the team. You know what? Life is a labyrinth of past. When looking back, we can only see the ones we took. But I see a chain of events. Making that team meant playing the summer with Coach Alison McNeil, here in the audience in the second row, who went on to coach SFU's women's basketball team just as I was graduating from high school. Not a coincidence that I jumped at the opportunity to play basketball at SFU because Alison was the coach, with many of my teammates from that exact team. Being at SFU opened the doors to study kinesiology that I'd never even heard of before I became a student at SFU. But I can never be thankful enough to find something that I love studying so dearly. After my last basketball season at SFU, I had the opportunity to meet Dr. Edwards, a surgeon who let me shadow him for a summer when I was invited back to Tennessee, where SFU played our last game at the national championships. Not a coincidence that this experience with Dr. Edwards crossed my path just as I needed a map to figure out where my next journey in life was going to take me. Using what I learned from the classrooms at SFU, but holding on dearly from what I found on the basketball court. Dr. Edwards made me realize that surgery was what I wanted to do with my life, that the operating room would actually be my next basketball court. My career would be benefited from these athletic traits that really aren't athletic traits at all. I think you all have them because of the success of being here today. Teamwork, responsibility, commitment, work ethic, communication, passion. The chain of events goes on. I decided to share this story with you because I wonder where I would be if these critical moments did not cross my path. Over the years, I've thought back to sitting in that car on that hot day as I transitioned from a frightened, nervous little girl who felt over her head and out of place to, in a few minutes, an athlete who valued what I had done and earned my chance to simply give it my best and put everything out there on the court. I can imagine, and I assume with great accuracy, that what would have happened if I entered that gym in the state of mind when we first arrived with Mr. Lee, it would have been a disaster. I would have left that gym with a list of reasons why I did not make that team. Thinking that my best would never be good enough is what I would have left with that summer. What if Mr. Lee wasn't there? What I've come to realize as a young athlete, I thought that critical moment that was going to have the impact and have the ultimate outcome, it was going to be on the court. It was going to be in the tryouts. That critical moment was an hour before the tryouts even began, in that car. Many of those critical moments in my life, and surely in yours, have been only seen in retrospect. So here's what I wish for you graduates today. celebrating your achievements. In the next few days, take time to reflect on such moments that have either hit you like a lightning bolt or crept up on you silently. Learn from them. As hidden within them, I believe, is an understanding about yourself. For me, this example was the importance of self-confidence, something I learned long ago will require lifelong training. Look for Mr. Lees in your next phase. Whether it's a job decision, education choices, a career to chase, do not be afraid to hold on to your mentors and do not be afraid to find new ones. But there's that responsibility. Realize that by who you are, a graduate of this great university, that you now carry a power. All of us can be a Mr. Lee to someone else. Indeed, as you move from a student to a teacher in this classroom of life, don't underestimate the power of what you have to give. I will end with an ancient proverb that I love, and I put it to you as graduates of 2019. A society grows great when old men and old women plant trees in whose shade they know they will never sit. Listen to these words. A society grows great when people plant trees in whose shade they know they will never sit. We must all give back. So graduates of 2019, plant trees. Real, philosophical, plant trees. Thank you to SFU for this incredible honor. Thank you for letting me come home. Chi miigwech. Yeah, I know, hey? Took me a long time.
Thank you, Dr. CARON. As part of Convocation, the Alumni Association will present a Simon Fraser University alumni pin to the graduates as they leave the stage. Our alumni are incredibly important to us, and we're pleased that this symbolic presentation will launch you on your new role as SFU alumni. Ms. Catherine Hearn received a Bachelor of Arts in History and Humanities in 2012 and received her master's degree in 2015. She is currently the Secretary of the SFU Alumni Association Board of Directors. I invite Ms. Hearn to the lectern to bring greetings to the graduates. Ms. Hearn.
Thank you, President Petter. Good afternoon, graduates. Today, your relationship with SFU evolves as you officially become lifetime members of a worldwide network with more than 160,000 alumni in over 140 countries. Our Alumni Association celebrates its 50th anniversary this year. Our goal is to provide you with opportunities to learn, grow, and thrive through local, national, and international events, career resources, library services, and many other value-added benefits. As alumni, you now serve as ambassadors for SFU in your community. Through your journey, you will also inspire current and future students to dream, to strive for excellence, and to make their own mark in society. Please stay connected with us through social media and by signing up for our alumni email forwarding service. We want to hear from you and have the chance to celebrate your successes. As you cross the stage today, it will be my pleasure to present you with an alumni pin. Wear it as a symbol of your incredible achievement and connection to SFU. Be proud of your accomplishments, be proud of your SFU credentials, and thank you all for investing your time, energy, and talents in this great university. Congratulations, and welcome to the Alumni Association.
Thank you, Catherine. Before the graduands are presented individually to the Chancellor, Olivia Kanya, a member of the graduating class, will address Convocation. Olivia is a lifelong learner, having earned 2 master's degrees from Madurai Kamara University in India, in addition to a Master of Education and now a PhD in Educational Theory and Practice at SFU. She is recipient of several awards and scholarships, including a graduate fellowship and 3 academic gold medals. Olivia recently completed her postdoctoral work in refugee trauma at Harvard Medical School, earning a certificate in global mental health, trauma, and recovery. And she's planning to pursue a career with the United Nations. It's now my great pleasure to call upon Olivia Kanya for the graduate address. Olivia? I hope that was right.
Honorable Madam Chancellor, distinguished Mr. President, esteemed faculty and staff, my much accomplished fellow graduates, all the truly supportive family members and cheerleading friends gathered here for this momentous occasion. Good afternoon to you all. 12 years ago, I was invited to speak at my citizenship ceremony in Vancouver on behalf of all those who became new citizens that day. And I shared with them the story of my immigrant journey and all the attendant struggles that eventually led to my acculturation and social inclusion in Canada. Today, it is once again an incredible privilege and unfathomable honor to have been invited as the student convocation speaker. But before I share with you all the story of my inspirational academic journey at Simon Fraser University, my beloved SFU, first things first, hearty congratulations to every single one of you on your meritorious achievement of graduation today. To have sat in these hallowed halls of learning at SFU week after week, engaging my mind, challenging myself on countless issues of great academic importance, and participating in endless discussions with my professors and classmates, bouncing ideas off each other, has been the most singular blessing of my adult life, needless to say. It seems surreal that I am finally here, just as you all are. After all that academic rigor and toil, the lifelong learner that I am, I came to SFU in September 2013 for my third master's in education. Little did I know then that my life would change its trajectory dramatically. From my familiar world of teaching English literature and ESL and veer into interdisciplinary research in trauma and healing pedagogies for the language classroom. As all meaningful research ought to be, there was nothing artificial or contrived about how I landed on my topic or where I ended up with my research. But SFU gave me the inspiration and the tools to succeed that have brought me to this stage today. It would be remiss on my part if I did not mention that I owe the spark of inspiration for my doctoral work to Dr. Hee-Soon Bai, whose class I happened to sit in one beautiful spring evening in 2014. And whose lecture discussion on intersubjectivity, our interconnectedness in this universe, and the need for compassion and the ethics of care set the research ball rolling for me from that day on, quite in keeping with my everyday work as a language educator for refugees and immigrants here in Metro Vancouver. The German poet Rainer Maria Rilke's lines further explain how my research trajectory was determined by this happenstance that was also providential in my case, shaped by something beyond the narrow confines of my blinkered, limited, and insular life experiences, something that was beyond my wanting and doing. Catch only what you've thrown yourself, all is mere skill and little gain. But when you're suddenly the catcher of a ball thrown to you by an eternal partner, towards you, to your center, why, catching then becomes a power, not yours, a world's. I was quick in my reflexes to catch that ball that was thrown to me. But soon enough, it made me realize the limits of my experience and motivated me to go beyond those limits. There I was, an ordinary English teacher, researching on trauma from the vantage points of neuroscience, psychotherapy, and Buddhist psychology, and making meaningful connections to pedagogies for well-being and trauma healing in the language classroom. My time here at SFU gave me the courage to push my boundaries and reach for the stars, and to everyone's surprise, I was accepted into the Harvard program in refugee trauma at Harvard Medical School, where I did some postdoctoral work in trauma treatment with world-renowned psychiatrists and neuroscientists, something quite unusual to happen to an English teacher, and earned a certificate in May 2019 in Global Mental Health, Trauma and Recovery. I'm equally honored to share that a publisher of academic books in the United States has accepted the thesis I so meticulously researched and worked on for publication as a book, as part of a series on the topic, Transforming Education for the Future. Forever grateful to SFU for the wealth of knowledge it has bestowed on me, I stay humbled, honored, grounded, and centered as I wait to begin a new career innings at the United Nations. If such has been the audacity of my hopes and dreams as an immigrant to Canada, fueled and supported by my mentors here at SFU, I wish for all of you the same hopes and dreams for a bright future. And here are the takeaways for you from my story. Aim for the stars, never settle for less. Do not be an also-ran in whatever race it is you happen to be in, and I speak metaphorically here. Instead, try your best to make your mark in anything and everything you do. At the same time, be careful not to get caught up in narcissistic self-focus, but look beyond yourself, cultivate empathy, and practice kindness and compassion to your fellow human beings. Remember that we are all interconnected in this universe, and when we keep paying forward the kindnesses we have received, we can definitely make this world a better place to live in. Learning never ends. Even if you do not move on to yet another classroom to earn yet another degree, make sure that you learn from the lessons that your experiences teach you as you move forward in life. Do whatever it is that you do with love and curiosity and imagination. Give it your best shot and stay content and happy as you see the results unfold. Do not be disappointed when you do not get what you want, maybe that particular job that you wanted, but believe that something better awaits you. Be grateful for the opportunities that come your way and to the people in your orbit who made things happen for you, your parents, professors, mentors, family members, and friends. Remember that being grateful brings you boundless blessings. Congratulations once again, my fellow graduates. Blaze new trails as you move ahead into the world beyond the walls of this wonderful university. Be the light, spread the light. In keeping with my Indian roots, let me end with a Sanskrit prayer and blessing. Sarve jana sukhino bhavantu. May all become happy. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May happiness prevail in the entire world. Thank you.
Thanks, Olivia. That was wonderful. Thank you. Careful. Thank you, Olivia. The members of the graduating class will now be presented to the Chancellor to be admitted en masse to their degrees. Will the graduands please rise? Pretty good-looking group, don't you think? Madam Chancellor, I present to you those scholars who have fulfilled the statutory requirements laid down by the Senate of this university, and I request that you confer upon them the degrees for which they are now recommended.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the Senate of this university, I do hereby admit you to your various and several degrees. The graduands may now be seated.
The members of the graduating class will now be presented individually to the Chancellor, but first, a few requests. Would you please refrain from applauding the individual members of the graduating class until each group of degrees has been conferred? This does not apply to the conferral of doctoral degrees, and obviously we can't prevent spontaneous outbursts of enthusiasm, nor would we want to. As a courtesy to others, please remain seated until the conclusion of the ceremony. I'd ask the graduates to please return to your seats following the receipt of your degrees, except for doctoral candidates who are asked to please join your colleagues on the platform. The degrees in the Faculty of Education and the Faculty of Environment will now be conferred. Madam Chancellor, Dr. Jeff Dirksen, Dean and Associate Provost, Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies, will announce the names of the students earning graduate degrees.
Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the graduands of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the Faculty of Education. The graduands will be hooded by their accompanying faculty supervisor, representative, or Dr. Susan O'Neill, Dean of the Faculty of Education. Dr. Sadvinder Bains will be hooded by her supervisor, Dr. Mark Fettis. Dr. Laurie Driussi will be hooded by her senior supervisor, Dr. Stephen Smith. Dr. Olivia Khanna will be hooded by their senior supervisor, Dr. Hee-Soon Bai. Dr. Christopher Istwestel Kinman will be hooded by their senior supervisor, Dr. Hee-Sun Bai. Dr. Alma Krilich will be hooded by their senior supervisor, Dr. Charles Bingham. Dr. Minnie Liu will be hooded by their senior supervisor, Dr. Peter Lillydahl. Dr. Kira Morgan Fair will be hooded by their senior supervisor, Dr. Michelle Pigeon. Dr. Anisha Arora will be hooded by their senior supervisor, Dr. Michelle Pigeon. And Dr. Judy Chandler will be hooded by their senior supervisor, Dr. Michelle Pigeon. Dr. Aaron Thrift will be hooded by their senior supervisor, Dr. Jeff Sugarman. Dr. Jovita Vitasek will be hooded by their senior supervisor, Dr. Philip Winnie. Dr. Mladen Rakovic will be hooded by their senior supervisor, Dr. Philip Winnie. Dr. Yi Xiao will be hooded by their senior supervisor, actually by their representative, Dr. Philip Winnie. And Dr. Megan Doherty will be hooded by their senior supervisor, Dr. Rebecca Cox. Dr. Irene Young will be hooded by their senior supervisor, Dr. Milt McLaren. And then we're on to that, right? Go straight to the apartment. Those guys. That's not there. Okay. Thank you, graduates. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the graduates of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the Faculty of Environment. I also have the honor of turning the page. The graduates will be hooded by their accompanying faculty supervisor, representative, or Dr. Naomi Krogman, Dean of the Faculty of Environment. Dr. Mehdi Amnapuri will be hooded by their senior supervisor, Dr. Kirsten Zickfeld. Dr. Taylor Anderson will be hooded by their senior supervisor, Dr. Susanna Dragasevich. Thanks. And Dr. Sarah Bellew will be hooded by Dean Krogman. Dr. Habtamu Tedesse will be hooded by their senior supervisor, Dr. Angela De Andrea. Thank you, graduates. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the graduates of master's degrees in the Faculty of Education. Alana Stockwell, Rebecca Stenner, Amanda Anderson, Georgia Alif Tiras, Thomas Allen, Rayan Al, Aryi Valo, Maria Agnes Aryi Valo, Deborah Baldarelli, Randy Bates, Naveen Bath, Kumaili Belgrave, Samantha Burbeck, Dana Birkenthal, Amanda Boyd, Paula Jean Broderick, Jennifer Kalbeck, Shinshin Cameron, Jason Camp, David Campanaro, Eduardo Canto Villalobos, Joshua Capri, Shaughnessy Chasko, Elizabeth Chung, Melissa Cho, Alexandra Holeva, Ashley Cho, Elise Corson, Evan Coupet, Rick Sear, Michelle Davis, Joe Desa, Iman Dernakia, Maria Devantier. Marie. Catherine Dirksen. Rosemarie Dyer. Morven Eakin. Karen Ifa. Mariel Farmer. Kelsey Fligg. Maria Ferrero Ortiz. Melissa Fuller. Sarah Camboa. Rubina Kaur Garcha. Brian Geary. Gabriel George. Mandeep Gill. David Godfrey. Catherine Ginter. Rachel Geiger. Jesse Haber. Brenda Hyde. Leah Halim. Tracy Hall. Allison Hamilton. Andrea Held. Karen Heer. Kimberly Holmes. Alison Hoti. Elahne Iranrad. Lindsay Idzat. Robert Johnston. Chad Johnstone. Angela Cayley. Rebecca Carget. Alexandra Casper. Eliza Killam. Elsa Kim. Karen Kim. Irina Kosorich. Nina Kazoko. Joanna Lane. Amy Weeb Lau. Kim Ledoux. Michelle Letourneau. Preet Leader. Judith Lowe. Yijun Liu. Karine Lubber. Sarah McDonald. Nicole Mack. Caitlin Rossi. Berta Martinez Chopin. Janet McCarron. Jennifer Mukila. Leslie McKay. Nicole McKenzie. Sarah Mionas. Christopher Moorman. Claudia Montez Cardenas. Danielle June Kathleen Murdoch. Jitendra Nair. Jeff Ney. Andrea Nelson. Simon Eng. Tasha Nijar. Tanya O'Donnell. Eve O'Haya. Kimberly Paris. Kimberly Pavan, Mary Pierce Biaget, Renee Pinnell, Mike Peragine, Jody Perry, Audrey Perun, Evan Petka, Kyle Pelkey, Heidi Postal, Shani Prasad, Kelly Prosnick, Daniela Rose, Maureen Samouj, Amrit Sanghe, Vanessa Sauer, Jennifer Sabella, Stephanie Sezelja, Rita Shahi, Nirmaljit Sidhu, Tanya Smith, Sally Song, Kimberly Sovio, Courtney Staples, Christina Stead, Jacqueline Stefich, Anna Sterylyukun, Vanessa Stunenberg, Louise Struthers, Andrea Salemka, Yvonne Sui, Jacqueline Simons, Sheena Miao Ying Tan, Lisa Taylor, Jennifer Thayer, Cara Lee Thomas, Tanis Tremblay, Menelaine Valencia, Rebecca Wieser, Christine Wald, Linda Wang, Caitlin Wilkerson, Juliana Wong, Alan Yi, Joanna Zhang, Johnny Zvi. Thank you, graduates. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the students who have completed the requirements for graduate diplomas in the Faculty of Education. Sarah Alexander, Kristen Almodovar, Susanna Barasek, Jennifer Barker, Kelly Blaker, Colleen Brady, Carla Bumstead, Noelle Carlisle, Katie Clark, hi Jane, Jane Cleary Dulai, Patricia Cole, Reagan Cowan, Roberta Fenton, Jeannie Friesen, Jennifer Gamble, Anita Gerber, Elena Gray, Christina Hoyle, Sajeda Kazam, Renee Kerluk, Nicole Lang, Lisa Lockett, Lori Lowe, Lisa Moosdeel, Jennifer Marriott, Stephanie McDonald, Ashley Del Cid Castro, Don Parkins, Griselda Pastora Gomez, Alexandra Peters, Amanda Pion, Patricia Kwan, Erica Strauer, Annabella Scutaru, Christina Sutton, Catherine Tercios, Jessica Vaughn, Lori Villeneuve, Natalie West, Deborah Yo. Thank you, graduands. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the graduands' master's degrees in the Faculty of Environment. Liam Fox, Thomas Budd, Jack Sejtovic, thank you, graduands.
Madam Chancellor, the Dean of the Faculty of Education, Dr. Susan O'Neill, will announce the names of the students earning undergraduate degrees in her faculty.
Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the graduate of the degree of Bachelor of Education in the Faculty of Education. Anne-Marie Belanger. Congratulations. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the graduates of the degree of Bachelor of General Studies in the Faculty of Education. Yifan Chen, Michelle Sear, Ali Haggerty, Rachel Henriksen, Hannah Hu, Michelle Khan, Ijoma Queeneth Kanu, Alexandra Lee, Ian Yin Mo Lin, Darian Mukai, Cameron Nakatsu, Janessa Parker, Shallow Isabel Ramirez, Pravneet Rupra, Mariel Santos, Jamie Shimon, Ravneet Tour, Claire Sao, Coco Wu, Chi Xiao, Ji Young Yu, Muha Chang. Congratulations. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the students who have completed the requirements for diplomas in the Faculty of Education. Jasprit Ajula, Amy Brady, Kirsten Cuthbertson, Daniel Faruja, Sabrina Yan, Chantal Chimanga. Congratulations.
Madam Chancellor, the Dean of the Faculty of Environment, Dr. Naomi Krogman, will announce the names of the students earning undergraduate degrees in her faculty.
Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the graduands of the degree of Bachelor of Arts in the Faculty of Environment. Indy Hannah Jones Bailey. Amanda Camilo. Lauren Cariccio. Stacy Graham. Sabrina Hannock. Shan Jacob Joy. Wei Young Lam Troy. Aaron Liu. Zuan Tin Pam. Daniel Rajasuriyar. Johnson Song. Congratulations. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the graduands of the degree of Bachelor of Environment in the Faculty of Environment. Zaria Alibi. Tony Chow. Vivek Singh. Logan Drackett. Zaria Khan. Jacob Rivard. Ko-E Taylor. Congratulations. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting a student who has completed the requirements for the certificate in the Faculty of Environment. Oh, okay. Sorry. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor, of presenting the graduates of the degree of Bachelors of Science in the Faculty of Environment. Siu Chen. Jordan Chia. Brent Cruikshank. Sula Fernando. Congratulations. Madam Chancellor, second time is the charm. I have the honor of presenting a student who has completed the requirements for the certificate in the Faculty of Environment. Julie May.
Will the graduating class please rise? I congratulate each of you on the completion of your degree. This is an impressive achievement, and I ask your friends, family, and members of the platform to join me in applauding the amazing graduating class of Fall 2019. Now let's not forget all those who worked so hard to help you get here. I invite the graduating class to reciprocate by applauding your family, friends, faculty, and staff, indeed all those who helped you to achieve your goal. Please be seated.
My friends, this completes the formal awarding of degrees. Some of the graduates recommended by Senate for degrees today have been unable to be present, and their names have therefore not been read out, but I now admit them to the appropriate degrees as shown in the program. I have a few thank yous to express. First, to everyone here for making time to join us on this celebratory afternoon. Also, to the many volunteers, staff and faculty members coordinated by Ceremonies and Events and Student Services who have worked together to run a smooth Convocation day. And I think they got the temperature and the sunshine just right, more or less. And to the members of our 6-time world champion Simon Fraser University Pipe Band for their contribution to Convocation. And they will perform again after the ceremony in Freedom Square behind the platform. Can you join me in thanking them all? This brings to a close the formal part of the afternoon convocation. You are all now invited to attend a reception in the James Douglas Room behind the platform. I ask that you kindly please rise if you are able and remain at your places until the platform party has recessed. Thank you.